We are here with the cast and makers of Ready Player One. You guys just came off of the Hall H stage. How did that feel to unveil this to so many nerds?
I thought it was pretty boring. I don't know about you. It's like, what is it, like 8,000 people?
6,500
Oh,
people.
not even 8,000. 6,500 people.
Not even 8,000.
And they're all excited, whatever. Right? Isn't that the way you felt?
No, I felt the exact opposite.
Oh.
It was a dream come true, and it was just waves of love and excitement. And just,
So much love.
There were like 4 or 5 just gasps and applause breaks in a 2-minute trailer.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
too.
That as well.
No,
Yeah.
it's his first time showing anything cut together from the movie to the people.
Yeah,
so.
and what you guys showed really drops us into the world of Ready Player One. So kind of describe where we find your character, Ty, at the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think he's a bit like most people in 2045. He tends to spend most of his time in the Oasis, which is a virtual reality game. Within the game, there's an Easter egg hidden by the creator of the game, who's passed away 5 years prior, and he's trying to find the Easter egg because that's the only thing he really has. But then there's this corrupt corporation called IOI that's...
I think I just have to point out that
there you
corrupt is strictly a subjective reading of IOI. I just need to say that. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
In the
Please.
interest
Forgot
of
you were
fairness,
sitting back there.
Ben
yeah.
Mendelsohn, yeah,
He's balanced
sitting right behind
Well,
me.
the
isn't
health
he?
plan for their
And,
employees is
IOI,
pretty solid.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, Ty, please.
No, you take it. I said IOI. You can take it away from there.
So the
Ben Mendelsohn, who plays Nolan Sorrento.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr.
T.J. Miller, who announced Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
And who also plays IROC, a virtual hitman, if you will. The world's first virtual hitman. He is a virtuoso virtual hitman.
TJ, how did you prepare for playing a virtual hitman?
I killed 45 people at Pac-Man. At Mrs. Pac-Man, in fact. I'm a feminist. I don't play Pac-Man anymore. I only play Mrs. Pac-Man.
He's
but
all
I
over the
call her by her
leaderboards.
first name, Pectrina.
Patrina Pac-Man.
Patricia.
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 Yeah, not Pac-Man.
I play IROC, who wasn't really in the book very much. Ernie Klein.
No, he was just one scene, but you
But
you
as
expanded.
right,
And
Zach
and-
Penn. Zach Penn, who penned the script with Ernie,
Ah,
right?
yes.
Zach penned a script that had a lot of fun stuff for this kind of bounty hunter in the Oasis, and so he's this very foreboding, gigantic, dangerous avatar. Who the person behind it is kind of this dorky, full-time nerdy gamer that's just happens to be the best hitman in Oasis. So it's a pretty fun contrast.
And sorry, to give credit where it's due, it was Steven Spielberg who basically said, Zach, we have to find, for all of these characters that are in the book, we need to find someone for them to play off of in the movie, because in the novel, Ernie can just write whatever he wants, but in the movie, they need scenes. So, some of the composite characters are designed to give, particularly for Sorrento, to give him someone to play off of, and
That guy, Spielberg.
Yeah, Spielberg. He knows what he's doing.
Give credit where credit's due.
And in
Steven
fact, he
Spielberg.
is here.
This is we'll
He
say
is
this
his
face
presence.
Right here.
Yeah.
His presence is felt.
Well,
Yeah.
here's a question. Because he's not here, I'd like to ask you all about
To
how
say one
the
horrible thing
levels-
about him.
The levels of dork within Steven Spielberg. I'm very curious.
I will tell you an awesome Steven Spielberg story. It's one of my favorite stories he told me. He was trying. He used to have a little arcade at Amblin with like 9 or 10 back in the 80s, 9 or 10 classic arcade games that he would play, and he was obsessed with breaking 1,000,000 points on Missile Command, and he could never do it. Then he had to stop and go and shoot ET, but he was still wanted to play Missile Command, so he had him haul his Missile Command cabinet out in the forest where they were shooting AT and hook it up to the production generators, and that out there in the forest playing between setting up shots, that's when he broke 1,000,000 points on Missile Command.
No way, he broke 1,000,000.
He broke
Yeah.
1,000,000
On
points.
ET.
And then he never
What did
played
you
again.
guys?
He was
What did
done.
you guys get to? What was your high score?
On Missile Command?
Yeah.
I never got even anywhere
No,
close.
What about you,
mine
Zach?
haven't come
Zach?
anywhere
Mine was
nowhere
one.
near
But tell the story about
1.6 million.
that. Really?
What?
Is that true?
No, I'm lying.
You're
Is this
telling the
verifiable?
Fibonacci
What's that?
Yes, I'm lying.
No, but Zach,
Fine,
tell
no,
the
no,
story
no, no.
about him coming up to you at
Where?
you know the story when you're playing Xbox.
Oh, well, that wasn't Steven, but
Oh, wait.
no, that was when I had a deal at DreamWorks and was playing. I turned over the high score at the interactive, on the pinball machine, on the Jurassic Park pinball machine, and all the guys from DreamWorks Interactive were like, "Who the hell are you? How are you beating our scores? Like, what gaming company do you work for?" And I said, "No, I'm just a screenwriter." And yeah. I don't know
And
why.
that
I'm
was
talking
enough.
about
No,
it.
but
Steven
I like that.
does.
You're like, I'm a screenwriter. Like, oh, you have a lot of free time.
Exactly. No, that was it.
Did they call you a pinball wizard after that?
Or a pinhead.
You know why they didn't? Because it wasn't the comedy department.
Oh.
No, but
My last question. I have to know, what are some of your favorite Easter eggs in this movie? I mean, this is one of the first movies to even introduce, I think, the concept of Easter eggs to a wide audience.
Can't tell you.
yeah, we can't answer
We
that.
should
you
have another
guys-
last question.
Spoiler alert, we're not
We
giving
know.
anything away.
How about the
We've
Iron Giant? That was
We've
in the
seen
teaser.
the Iron
Okay, there we
Giant
go,
in
yeah.
this new trailer.
The DeLorean
Honestly-
from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Getting to see it transform from hover mode in the
Yeah.
middle of the race is so cool. Yeah.
Iron Giant for me. Iron Giant's one of my favorite movies, and I recently watched it with my 3.5-year-old nephew, and I got to the end of the movie and I was crying because I
Just
hadn't seen it
full
so
on
long. It
bawling.
brought me right back to when I was his age, and he looked up at me and he was like, "Why are you crying?" And so I had to explain to him the plot because he's only 3. But, to see Iron Giant in the teaser, I got a little. I've got a little like. I just felt like a little.
No, you
emotional,
were
like,
openly bawling in the men's restroom afterwards. That's how you done that.
That wasn't
tell you.
because
And
of that.
Joust. I need to give a shout out to Joust. For anyone who actually paid money, and I'm talking about physically put coins into machines.
I'm in
To
that
see
demo.
Joust there. The terrifying pterodactyl.
That is a
sound
note
effects are
perfect
great.
Thank you.
Impersonation.
There
of
you
the
go.
Giant.
See?
Pitch
I lived
perfect.
it. I lived it. I lived it.
In real life.
I lived it, baby.
Real life, virtual life. Well, thank you guys. This is not real what's happening
Yeah.
right now, right?
Um,
Are we
yeah,
in a
it's all
VR
the
simulation
so-
in this
no,
moment?
this is
There you
real.
go. I don't like this thing exciting.
Hey
Wait.
TJ, what time is it, buddy? I just realized you're wearing 4 watches.
Don't I look pretty in
Oh.
pink?
Are we staying here?
my
Should
God,
we just stay
that's
here
so-
and
Just
just
here.
chat?
You guys
Wow.
live here now.
Yeah.
I want to tell one more Steven Spielberg nerdy story.
Ben, come back. Come back.
Back.
Just one more layers of nerdiness, he said. So he said that, I said, have you seen anything that you like recently? He said, yeah, no, I've been watching Witness for the prosecution. And, I said, really, really? He's like, yeah, I've been watching that for a while. And I said, oh, did you stop and start? And he goes, no. And what it was is he'd been watching this movie over and over and over again for like a week or something like that, or weeks, because he'd become very obsessed with it. And then if we watched it and he would ask us questions, he's like, don't you love that sort of tracking dolly shot when they first come into the courtroom, after he sort of puts out the cigar button. He just had the whole thing completely memorized and then wanted to ask all about the little tiny things. And I'm like, we got to go back and watch it 20 more times. So that's pretty nerdy.
Yeah, that's
Well, when you're
deep
lazy
thinking.
and have a lot of time in your hands.
Yeah, like
you know,
Steven
Just keep
Spielberg.
watching a movie.
Who can
yeah.
only make 3 movies a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jeez.
Gosh, that guy.